Hello everybody, today we are going to complete this colored pencil shading worksheet using the Prisma Color Colored Pencils. Now when you use this, you are probably going to have a completely different set of Prisma Color Colored Pencils. Mrs. G is using a full set, which you will be using in your final project, but I am going to open this up and get out my colored pencils. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is practice our blending from one color to the next using the little cheat sheet they have for us. So we have to do red, red, orange, orange, yellow, yellow, green, green, blue, blue, violet, violet, and red, violet. Okay, now again, the colors in your box will most likely be different. I'm going to start out with the crimson red. And when we use our colored pencils, we always go up and down. We can do lines or we can do oval strokes. I typically do an oval stroke, but I don't want you going in a horizontal direction, okay? I want you to go in a vertical direction. It just makes life so much easier and your colored pencils are gonna look an awful lot neater. So I'm going to start with my red, and I'm starting with kind of light pressure, and then I am going to, oh, hang on, I have a little bit of texture. So I am going to make sure that I don't have any texture underneath. Ooh, that's much better. Okay, so I'm going to fill in this entire area with my crimson red and do my best to make sure that I am not going out of the line, because then that would be very, very messy. Okay? So there's my red. Now the next color I'm going to use is the poppy red. And whenever I go from one color to the next, I like to kind of go over it a little bit and blend as humanly possible as I can. Okay, now I just went right in with medium to heavy pressure there. Okay, trying to make sure that I stay within the lines and that I don't have any white spaces, because Mrs. G does not like white spaces at all. She is very particular. Okay, next one is orange. So again, I'm going to blend a little bit over that and then come over here. All right, I'm gonna come back and do a little bit more, kind of burnish this a little bit, make sure that I am within the lines. Notice I'm just kind of tackling the tippy top right there, and there we go. Okay, so next is yellow orange. However, in my set, I don't have a yellow orange. So I am going to show you how to make a yellow orange. So since I already have the orange in my hand, I am going to, with light pressure, make my circular or oval strokes and kind of go over the area. And then I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to make sure that my pencil is clean. And I'm going to go over it with a little bit more pressure. And then I'm going to go straight through to my yellow. Okay, so I can see that I have a very different color. And you know what? I feel like I need just a little bit more orange, so it looks kind of like the yellow orange or golden yellow that it's supposed to look like. Make sure that I get everything in there. Okay, so now I'm going to add some more yellow. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now once again, all right, so we got red, red, orange, orange, and yellow. We got all the warm colors done. I'm going to put my orange back, but now I need to do yellow green. Well, guess what? I don't have yellow green. And the green that I have been loving is the apple green. So I am also going to lay down a very light layer of my yellow, and then I am going to add a very light layer of the apple green, and then I'm going to keep going to green. Okay, so I'm going to come back in and use heavy pressure, get my green, and then not go so heavy, but make sure that I'm adding a little bit more green. But I definitely need to add some more yellow because it's very difficult to see. So I'm going to add that in, and it looks like I am going to need to add a little bit more green. Now in your baskets, you may already have a lime green color. The lime green in your baskets is probably the chartreuse color. It's so pretty. I love me some lime green. I used to have a lime green Beetle. I miss that car so much. Maybe one day I will have it again, but right now I gotta stick with my SUV because I have too many people that I need to transport on a daily basis. Okay, so that is done. Let's move into my blue-green now. Again, I don't have blue-green, so I am going to add a very light layer of my green, and then I'm going to get my true blue, and I'm going to very lightly go over this so I have a little bit of a blue-green, and then I'm going to go all the way through to my blue. Okay, now I can go back in with my heavy pressure, and I am going to go back over my blue-green because I really need this to be almost like a teal color. Okay, so I'm gonna give it one more pass with the green, and I might give it another pass with the blue. There we go, because I really want it to look like a blue-green. Okay, kind of get all those areas, and then I'm going to go back in here and make sure that my blue is completely done. Okay, there we go. So now I can put these both back because we should have a color that says violet blue or blue violet. So I can just use one color without mixing. But mixing is a lot of fun. I definitely have to sharpen this pencil. And I will do that when we get to the next section. Okay, so there we go. There's my blue violet. And I'm going to keep this pencil out because I would like to blend them together a little bit more. Okay. All right. And then next up is my violet. So there's my violet. And I'm always going over. There we go. Kind of making sure I'm going over it like that. There we go. Making sure that I don't have any white spaces. There we go. Okay, so last is my red violet, which I obviously do not have. And I'm going to go over with a very light layer of my violet. And then I'm going to add the crimson red that I added over here. I'm going to do that first. There we go. And then I'm going to add some more violet. Whoops, went out of the lines a little bit. Do your best to stay in the lines. I know it is very difficult to do that. It is not easy, but do your best. I'm going to go back in because I kind of want this to be a little bit more vibrant. And if this was completely connected in a chain, then it would look very seamless, like if it was in a circle. And I'm just going to blend this one more time. Okay, so there you go. That is your completed rainbow from red all the way to red violet. We've got our primary colors, we've got our secondary colors, and we have our tertiary colors. Okay, let's move into the middle section. So we are going to practice our pressure, and I would love for you to use a different color than what you used above. So we are going to start out with light pressure. So when we do our light pressure, which we've already done before, you should see some white spaces in between. You should see the color, okay? Again, try and stay within the lines, but on a value scale, this is typically like a 2 or a 3, okay? So there's my light pressure. Now my medium pressure, I'm a little bit darker. I can see more of the colors, and here we go. I can see more of the colors, and it's just a little bit darker. So on a value scale, this could be maybe like a 4 or a 5. You know, definitely not a 6, but at least a 4 or a 5. And if you wanted to go back in and blend it a little bit more, you absolutely can. Okay, and then the last one is hard pressure. So this is when you press the hardest so that you can get the richness of the colored pencil. You want to make sure that you are getting every single piece of this rectangle covered. Get in there. Okay. I'm going to go over it one more time with another pass. There we go. There we go. Now I'm just going to kind of come in here and get this bottom done. I know, again, it's very difficult to stay within the lines, but do your best. There we go. Okay. So there you go. Light, medium, and heavy pressure. Okay, so I'm going to skip the blending colors right here because that's going to take us a little bit, but we are going to focus on the complementary colors, okay? So I'm going to take out my red and I'm going to take out my green, and we are going to get a very desaturated neutral color in the middle, or we're going to get brown, okay? So what I like to do is I like to take my red, and I have the crimson red, and I'm going to go about halfway, okay? Then I'm going to take my apple green and I'm going to go the other way. Now I was doing like light to medium pressure, and now I'm going to do medium to heavy pressure because I want them blended in the middle and overlapping. So I have a very muddy looking brown. And the easiest way to remember your complementary colors is red and green are what? They're Christmas colors. Mrs. G's favorite holiday. So red and green, always Christmas. Okay, blue and orange. Think of Mets colors. That's very easy. My husband's a Mets fan. We are all giant Mets fans. So those colors go very, very well together. Okay, so you should get something that looks like that. Now on to our Mets colors. Also too, when you blend your complementary colors together, it is a very good idea to start out with the primary color first and then move on to the secondary color. That's what I like to do. That is what I like to do. And again, I started with the medium to heavy pressure, and then I'm moving to medium. I started with medium to light, excuse me, and then I'm moving on to the medium to heavy pressure, trying to get all of this in here. Now, in my opinion, blue and orange, especially when you are mixing with acrylic paint, they make the best brown. I don't know why. They just do. Some people think yellow and purple do, but I don't think so. I am not a fan of that. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So you got red to green, blue and orange. And then our last one is yellow and violet. Kind of like purple and gold. So Raven's colors, James Madison colors. Okay, there we go. All right, let me come in here and get my violet going. There we go. I need to overlap a little bit. Make sure I get some of that gross mud in between. There we go. Get underneath here. Let me go back over this. Kind of want this to be nice and dark. Okay. Whoops. And now I'm going to go back over with my yellow. So I have a nice mud in the middle. There we go. Okay. Whoops. All right, so far we did the spectrum, we did pressure, and we did our complementary colors. Stay tuned for part 2 where we tackle the spheres.